6.5 down, 5.5 down, 9 forward. Good.
Episode 5 of Death's Game starts at a warehouse with an influencer recording a live stream about beating a man who sexually assaults his victims and then murders them. A stranger shows up and saves the alleged sexual offender from the influencer, but goes ahead to kill him by chopping him up into pieces and using the blood splatters as painting elements on his canvases. The scene then goes to the familiar dark place where Yiji meets up with Death before he is sent to take over another body. He is wailing on the floor, talking about killing Park Taou. Before that, he shoots Death and then tries to shoot himself so he can go to the next body. But it does not work since Death does not die. Yiji is furious about Jisu's death and thinks it's all a part of Death's plan. However, Death tells him that Jisoo was destined to die at that spot and at that exact time. The only thing that changed was Yiji deciding to reveal who he was to her moments before her death. Therefore, Park Tae-yu would have killed Jisoo regardless, and Yiji starts wondering why. The second half of Death's Game officially begins, and Yiji is eager to return to kill Taou. Death reminds him that she will have to intervene if he tries to kill another person, and Yiji is quick to ask her to try to stop him. Even though he might not beat Death at her game, he is human, and all they do is try. Death thinks people are stupid since they never listen, no matter how often you warn them. The next body that Yiji takes over is the murderous artist seen at the start of the episode. The man's name is Jung Yu-chul, 34 years old and a talented artist the world failed to recognize. One day, he witnesses a person dying when he jumps from a building onto a car and gets inspiration to draw what he saw. The painting sold at a high price in a foreign country and received critical acclaim that it captured human depravity. Yu-chul started becoming serious about his art by killing people to capture their looks at the moment of their deaths. His paintings become popular, selling at biddings of millions of dollars. Yu-chul is a serial killer, and although Yiji is repulsed by it, he decides to use him to kill Taou. Yiji finds out that the body he took over has a brain tumor with only 1 month to live. He has to act first and learn more about Taou, starting with where he lives. Suddenly, Yu-chul's assistant calls him to say that Park Taou wants to buy one of Yu-chul's art pieces, and he is on his way to the gallery. Yiji arrives at the gallery and finds Taou waiting in front of the painting he wants to buy. He asks about Yu-chul's interpretation of the painting. Yiji uses the opportunity to spook him by saying Taou is attracted to the painting because they are both killers who consider themselves gods. When his words make Taou suspicious of him, he changes the tone, saying he was joking and apologizing for offending him. Yiji sees the painting sale as an opportunity to know Taou's home address. He agrees to sell and asks Taou for his address to deliver the painting. He then invites him to his studio later on so he can make Taou a special painting. Taou agrees. Taou attends a mass for his brother's eulogy, and we get a flashback to their interaction. Park Jin-tae tells Taou a story about witnessing him try to kill their housekeeper's baby and tells him that their father knows about it. He also asks him about popping pills, and Jin-tae thinks that Taou is weak-willed and has to depend on drugs to stop hearing voices. While Jin-tae thinks that the voices his brother hears are of a baby crying, Taou tells him that he takes the pills to stop the voices in his head telling him to kill Jin-tae. He is strong-willed enough, which is the only reason why Jin-tae is still alive. Jin-tae is terrified. Back at the mass, Taou leaves the church, angry that his father keeps talking about his dead brother. His assistant calls him and informs him that his father arranged the seminar about psychopaths he attended earlier in the day, and he filmed it secretly. Taou takes some pills to get high and starts speeding recklessly on the highway. 2 detectives on a break see him speeding and chase after him. He drives over a road on construction and is forced to a stop. One of the detectives goes to his car and gives him a speeding ticket. However, the detective suspects that Taou might be high and forces him out of the car. Upon seeing who the person is, his partner rushes out of the car to stop the other detective from looking into the matter further, but the detective insists. Taou calls their superior, and the detective is ordered to let him go, but Taou does not just leave. He humiliates the detective by slapping him several times while his partner stands there without helping, and then throws money at the detective to use for treatment of the injuries. Taou then drives off. Taou arrives home and bumps into Yiji outside his gate. He is here to pick a fight. He instigates his Taou, which makes him furious, and he punches him. Yiji gains the upper hand and starts beating Taou black and blue. Taou rushes into his car when he can and takes the gun he uses for bird shooting. One bullet hits Yiji, and he falls to the ground. Taou approaches him arrogantly, thinking he has finished him, but Yiji comes prepared and has a bulletproof vest underneath his clothes. The fight continues, but Yiji manages to capture Taou and take him to Gyuchil's studio. However, tables turn unexpectedly when Yiji faints, and when he regains consciousness, he is the one tied to the table. Taou starts telling him about the murders he has committed over the years. He says that his first kill was an accident, and it happens to be the man who was hit by a car on the day Yiji was heading to an interview. He says the man looked up at him like a god while asking for his help, which felt electrifying. In the car outside, when Yiji was telling him about how he would kill him, Taou wondered why he never thought of killing people himself and got to experience how it feels. He tells Yiji that he will never get to win against Taou, since winning or losing depends on who stays alive. Taou holds a chainsaw to Yiji's neck and tells him to start begging for his life so that he might spare him. Yiji aggravates him further, and Taou starts chopping. Yiji wakes up at the usual chill-out spot after death, and Death is waiting to tell him about his most painful death yet. Yiji gives maniacal laughter, which makes Death wonder if he got himself killed on purpose. As his laughter is continuously heard in frenzied bursts, the scene zooms in back to Gyuchil's studio, where Taou is cleaning the blood off his hands, and in the mirror is a look of contentment and fulfillment. Unknown to Taou, there are hidden cameras set in the studio. If you are watching this channel for the first time, hit the subscribe button and watch other episodes. Until then, it's me, Mitsubishi, signing off.